Hey guys, welcome to our episode of Calligraphy with Kayla. This week we will be painting calligraphy style dragons. And then I will also be starting off with the kanji for dragon and then wrapping my dragon around my piece. So we'll start off with our materials. I've got my little paint palette. I've got two types of paint today. The kanji I will be painting in this primary red color that I've got. So I've already got it in my container with just a little bit of water in it. I watered down my paints in this episode just a little bit because it helps mimic ink. And the calligraphy style, they use inks a lot, at least the ones that I was inspired by to start doing calligraphy myself. So that's what I'm going to be going with. Then we've got our basic black, Mars black. Once again, you can use any colors you like. These are just going to be the ones I use today. I like to keep it simple, clean, minimal. This is just my kind of therapy, and I hope you all enjoy it and I can share it with you. So we'll get started. Let me move my paints out of the way. Oh, and then sorry, lastly I have my little brush. It's a small round-tipped brush. These ones I like the best personally. If you want to use a larger brush, you can, but the round brush is the style that you will need. I like to work really small, so I'm going to stick with my little brush. Alright, so we are actually going to be starting with the kanji, or character, for dragon. And I will show you how to paint that. I'm going to be painting that in the middle right here of my piece because I kind of want my calligraphy dragon swirling around my kanji. So to start it off, we're going to go right in the middle. There's going to be two sides to our character. So we're going to start on the first side. I'm going to get my brush nice and coated, really full of paint. I mean, obviously not dripping off the brush, but you can see there's a good little paint in this, good little bit of paint in this little guy. So, this character is not complicated, but there's just a lot of steps to it. So, bear with me. I will show you to the best of my ability how to make it readable and beautiful. So, we're going to start on the first side of our letter, and you're going to draw two lines. One smaller, one below it, slightly longer. I will wet my brush again. From the bottom one, there's going to be two lines coming up from it at an angle. They're going to be kind of angled in just a little bit. If that makes sense. And then from the top, there's going to be one at an angle coming down. So there you go. We've got the first part of the first half done. So the bottom half of this character, let me make sure my brush is nice and coated. Don't be afraid to keep going back for more paint. It'll just make your strokes stronger, cleaner, prettier. So, alright, we're going to go in for our next one. We're going to kind of create, I guess, a line straight down and across. It'll almost be like a little box, but we're not going to close it. On this last one, we're actually going to give it a little foot. And then inside, there's going to be two lines going across from one side to the other. Alright, first half is done. Alright, now we're going to the second part of our kanji. So, you're going to start at the top, kind of close to your symbol. This will be the edge, if you will. So you're going to come straight down just a little bit. Then you're going to come over, down, and around. Does that make sense? Hopefully you can see that easily. I hope the shadow isn't getting too in the way from my brush. So from where you left off, I had to refill my brush with some paint. You're going to bring it down and swoop it around. So go down, swoop it around, and bring it up. Apologies, forgot the up at the end. There you go. Now, we're almost done, I promise. So from the top, you're going to bring, there's going to be a line angled in towards your piece. So we'll start out and bring it in. You always want to start your brush where the symbol, the painting, the piece, whatever you're going to be doing is going to be thickest. Because when you push down and drag away, it'll kind of pick it up. You can kind of see it really well here, how I started off and then it picked up a little bit. That's just kind of the nature of the stroke. So we'll start out and come in, but for these ones, we'll start in and go out. So there's going to actually be 3 lines in this little space right here. They're not actually going to be touching the edge. They're just going to kind of be floating, doing their own thing. Cool. So there you have it. That's the kanji for dragon. So I'm going to just clean off my little brush here. Get it nice and clean because now I am done with the red and we are going to be moving on to our dragon. So that's what the black is handy for. And let's see. You know what? I am going to keep this brush. I was thinking about going slightly thicker, but I think for the size that I'm working with, I think it'll show up better with this little brush. Sorry, I was second guessing myself halfway through the video. Bad Kayla. Just go with the flow. Always turns out better when you do. So, the thing that inspired me most when I first took a little class with my dad, actually, when I was about 8 years old on calligraphy, we painted fans, we painted fish and chickens and birds all over these fans, and it was so fun and silly, and I just felt fearless having to do these quick individual single strokes and no chance to erase, no really way to cover it up. It was just you do it and you're done, because we were painting on silk. You can't really erase on silk. Paper's a little different, you can always start over, but I just really was inspired by it. So I really hope that, you know, this class inspires you too. So for the dragon, quick, short strokes, just go for it. You can't do it wrong. It always looks amazing. I've done this class several times with all ages, and the dragons always look amazing. Actually, every calligraphy creature that I've done has looked so wonderful when other people have taken the class. They always turn out different, always amazing. Sorry, I'm getting really excited. I miss our classes. This quarantine is so hard on us, but hopefully we'll be back running up soon and can do these in person. Alright, I'm gonna break this tangent. Back to the painting. So we're gonna start with our dragon head. I want my dragon kind of curling around both sides of my symbol. So we're gonna start with the head. I want his head up here in the corner. So this is gonna be his brow, if you will. We're just gonna do one. You're gonna push down really hard and swipe out, kind of how I was talking about earlier. So it's really thick and then it gets thin. And this will be his brow. And you're gonna wanna leave a little bit of room for his snout. So don't do it all the way at the end, or the edge of your paper, because you'll run out of room for the rest of his face. So for his brow, we're going to push down and swipe up. Okay? And then we're going to do his snout next. So this one is going to be actually a series of little swipes like that. We're going to kind of, I guess, draw a little C shape, a little angled C. Can you see that? And then from there, we'll give it from the top a nice little swipe, and from the bottom a nice little swipe. And then we'll kind of fill in his nose just a little And then we'll give him a jaw. I know this doesn't look like much, just looks like a bunch of little swipes near each other, but I am saying what they are so that hopefully as we start adding more to him, you start seeing him grow. So we'll give him a little draw, this little swipe on the bottom, just kind of bring it down and up, if that makes sense. So we'll start from here, kind of go down and up. So you've kind of got this, I don't know, weird, abstract chicken wing, chicken leg sort of shape. I'm going to refill my brush again. So from his eyebrow, in traditional Asian cultures, a lot of the dragons in their lores have these beautiful long tendrils or just parts of them just kind of wisping out of their eyebrows. They've got like mustache kind of looking Fu Manchu things. So we're actually going to add those in next. So we're going to give him little eyebrows. So we're going to just do the swipe, but up 3 times. So he's got little horns. That's what they are. They're going to be little horns. And then I'm actually going to take my brush and try and flatten it a little bit, tapping it against my palette, because I want to give him his little mustache tendrils. I like them. They're so cute. So sorry if the shadow gets in the way. I'm trying to be mindful of it. But we're going to start from his nose and bring it out and just kind of let them swirl back. So, I know, it still looks like a lot of squiggles. Now we're going to get to his body. We'll get to the meat of the dragon. He'll start coming to life, I promise. So get your brush nice and loaded again. And when I say loaded, I don't mean just kind of dipping it in real quick. I mean coating both sides of it, even though it's round, so it doesn't really have sides. But you want paint all around the tip of your brush. You don't really want a dry spot because it just, you know, keeps the strokes looking strong, looking clean. I know I keep saying that, but it's just something that's always going through my head when I'm painting these, so I just kind of wanted to plug it in your head too. Alright, so we're going to start from this little area we've kind of created under his horns, where his jaw ends. We're going to start his neck. We're going to bring it down and around for his body. So, like I was saying earlier, one stroke. Don't overthink it. You can't erase it. We're not redoing it. Just go for it. So we're going to start at the head. I'm just going to put a little dot there. And I want his body to end right here. So I'm going to make sure that he's curving all the way to there. And he's going to come out on the other side right there. I'm just planning ahead. That's just me. If you want to just go and see what happens, just go for it. I encourage it, in fact. And I really hope if you all enjoy these that you show us your videos too. I would love to see if you create any of these. They're my little therapy, so I hope you find yours too. Alright, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm getting so nervous. I always do this, but I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna start at the top of his neck and just bring it all the way down. And then back up to the spot I said I would. Perfect. Alright, so this is okay. We just want that nice big line, and then you can fill that in if you want. Alright, do you kind of see him taking shape? He's getting there, he's getting a little snake-like. Alright, now we're going to draw the bottom half of his body, and then we'll add in his little feet, and then our dragon will be complete. Alright, so we've got his body coming out on this side, so it's kind of like he just did a little loop there. Now I'm going to bring his body down and up, because I want his tail to end nice and high. He's a proud dragon. You can fill in that little line. You you can leave little bits to it. I like leaving the little spots open. It makes the brush stroke feel more organic, more natural. You can make it nice and solid if you want. This is your piece. Just don't overthink it. That's not the point of this. The point is just to whip it out, make something quick, beautiful, easy, simple. Sometimes I just feel a lot and I just need to quickly get it out there, so this is kind of why I adopted this style. Alright, tangent over. We're gonna finish his tail. So we've got the end of his tail here, but we're gonna give him little wispies, tendrils, whatever you want to call them. So we'll do 3 little wisps coming out of his tail. Rules of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So, finally, the last thing that we're going to be doing to finish off our dragon is we're going to give him feet. Right now he's just a little snake with a cool tail and a mustache, so we're going to finish him off. We'll give him all his legs first. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush and you're actually going to make a big fat circle. Oval, circle, blob, if you will. We're going to give him 4 blobs, so you can pick where his feet are. They don't have to be right next to each other. In fact, I like it when they're a little off from each other. Alright, so I picked my spot where the feet are. Now we're going to give him his claws. So, same technique as before. We're going to push down, well, as before with the top of the head and the tail. We're going to push down and flick it out, but give it a little bit of a curve, because we're going to give him the claws on his feet. So it's kind of like before, a little bit different. I'll try and show you. Hopefully the shadow isn't too in the way, but you're going to push down and wisp out. Push down and flick it out. Push down, flick it out. They don't have to be exact. They don't have to be perfect. I'm going to turn this. Don't be afraid to turn your piece either. It doesn't have to stay right there completely still, because I want his claws to curve out this way. So I'm going to push down, curve out. We're going to do 3 toes on each foot. And you push down and flick it out. Push down, flick out. Push down, flick out. Alrighty, and you know what? I want to add more to my tail. Awesome. So, there you have it. That's our little calligraphy style dragon and the kanji for dragon. I hope you enjoyed it. I absolutely adore this style of painting. I will have more calligraphy classes for you. I hope you check them all out. This has been so much fun sharing this with you. I hope you're combating the cabin fever during this quarantine. And I love you all. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting Spectra. Love you all.